Few works of literature have shaped humanity's imagination as powerfully as Inferno, by the Italian poet, written in the early 14th century as the opening section of the Divine Comedy. Inferno presents a vivid and unforgettable journey through hell. Yet it is far more than a catalogue of punishments or a medieval fantasy about the afterlife. It is a profound meditation on morality, justice, human weakness, and the consequences of our choices. The poem begins with one of the most famous openings in world literature. Dante, the narrator, finds himself lost in a dark forest, symbolizing spiritual confusion and moral crises. Unable to find his way back to the right path, he encounters the ancient Roman poet, Virgil, who becomes his guide. Virgil represents reason and wisdom, leading Dante through the terrifying landscape of hell in order to help him understand the nature of sin and the structure of divine justice. Dante's hell is not a chaotic place of random suffering. Instead, it is organized into a carefully structured system of moral logic known as the 9 circles of hell. Each circle punishes a particular category of sin, and the punishment reflects the nature of the wrongdoing itself. This principle, often described as contrapasso, means that the punishment symbolically mirrors or contrasts with the sin. The first circle, known as limbo, holds virtuous individuals who lived before Christianity or who were not baptized. These souls are not tormented but exist in a state of eternal longing, separated from divine grace. As Dante descends deeper, the sins become increasingly severe. The second circle punishes lustful souls who are swept endlessly through violent storms, symbolizing the uncontrollable passions that once ruled their lives. Further down are the gluttonous, forced to lie in filthy rain, the greedy, condemned to push heavy weights in futile circles, and the wrathful, who battle endlessly in muddy waters. Each punishment reflects the inner disorder created by these vices. Dante's hell is not merely physical punishment. It is the outward manifestation of a corrupted soul. The lower circles reveal darker forms of human behavior. Heretics burn in flaming tombs, symbolizing their spiritual blindness. Violent souls suffer in rivers of boiling blood or wander through forests where those who destroyed themselves are transformed into twisted trees. In these scenes, Dante explores the destructive power of violence against others, against oneself, and against nature. The final and most terrifying levels of hell are reserved for fraud and betrayal. Scenes that Dante considers the most destructive because they involve the deliberate abuse of trust. In the 8th circle, deceivers, corrupt politicians, hypocrites, and false counselors endure grotesque punishments that reflect their manipulation of truth. The 9th circle, at the very bottom of hell, is a frozen wasteland where traitors are trapped in ice. At the center of this frozen abyss stands Satan himself. Unlike the fiery image often imagined today, Dante portrays Satan as a monstrous, imprisoned creature frozen waist-deep in ice. His 3 faces chew endlessly on history's greatest traitors, including Judas. The image is not one of power, but of evil. In Dante's vision is not fiery chaos, but a cold absence of love and divine light. The enduring influence of Inferno comes from more than its dramatic imagery. Dante transformed moral philosophy into narrative poetry, blending theology, classical learning, political commentary, and personal reflection. Many of the characters in hell were real historical figures, including politicians and rivals from Dante's own lifetime. In doing so, he turned the poem into both a spiritual journey and a critique of corruption in medieval society. Yet Inferno continues to resonate centuries later because its themes remain universal. Dante's hell is ultimately about moral responsibility. Every punishment in the poem reflects the choices individuals made during their lives. In Dante's worldview, hell is not arbitrary cruelty, but the logical consequence of a life shaped by selfishness, pride, or betrayal. Readers today may not share the medieval religious framework that shaped Dante's vision, but the poem still speaks to fundamental human questions. What happens when ambition overrides morality? How does pride blind us to our own faults? And what does justice truly mean? Through its powerful symbolism and unforgettable imagery, Inferno reminds us that literature can explore the darkest aspects of human nature while still pointing toward moral clarity. Dante's journey through hell is not merely a descent into horror. It is the beginning of a larger path toward redemption and understanding. If you enjoyed this exploration of Dante's extraordinary vision, be sure to like this video and subscribe to Literator, literally for more thoughtful journeys into the world's greatest works of literature.